Greetings, ASA members. Let's start with good news. Yes, it does exist. Our congratulations to 41 Arizona public schools for being designated by the Arizona Educational Foundation as A+ schools. And you'll see these A+ schools scrolling down as you're watching right now. And many of these schools are led by principals who are ASA members. I want to draw your attention to one school in particular that's of interest to me. That's Tartesso Elementary in the Saddle Mountain Unified School District, because when I started in that district 10 years ago as a superintendent, we opened Tartesso School, and now as it celebrates its 10th anniversary, it can do so by being designated an A+ school. Our further congratulations to Pendergast Superintendent, Dr. Lily DeBlue, for being named National Latina Superintendent of the Year by the Association of Latino Administrators and Superintendents. And finally, congratulations to the winners of our ASA elections. That month-long process concluded about a week ago. So we have these winners. So ASA President-elect, Dr. Paul Tye, Superintendent, Saddle Mountain Unified. ASA Secretary of Treasurer, Dr. Lupita Hightower, Superintendent, Tolleson Elementary. President-elect Superintendent's Division, Dr. Christy Sandvik, Superintendent, Buckeye Elementary. Superintendent's Division Secretary Treasurer, Steve Burbico, Superintendent, Hopi Junior Senior High School. Elementary Division President-elect Christine Kinghorn, Principal, Desert Canyon Elementary, Scottsdale Unified. Elementary Division NAESP Representative Sharon Boomer, Principal, Spectrum Elementary, Gilbert Unified. Secondary Division President-elect Dennis Barger, Principal, Vail High School, Vail Unified. Secondary Division NASSP State Coordinator Ben Rodriguez, Principal, Benson High School, Benson Unified. And finally, Middle Level Division Secretary Treasurer Katie Dabney, Principal, Desert Sky Middle School, Vail Unified. Okay, now let's move on to a subject which we haven't heard much about lately with all the other topics dominating the news. That subject is, yes, academic achievement. NAEP, the National Assessment for Educational Progress. A nationally representative group of 585,000, yes, that's over 500,000 4th and 8th graders, took the National Assessment of Educational Progress in 2017. And this was the first time the assessment was administered digitally. The results, released about a week ago, show no change at all for 4th grade in either math or reading, or for 8th graders in math for the first time since the tests were last given in 2015. Now, there was an increase in 8th grade reading for the scores among the higher performing 8th graders, but these increases were offset by a significant decrease in scores among the lowest achieving 8th graders. So, there was a similar trend in 8th grade math, with score increases for high achieving students, but score decreases for low achieving students. So that's great. Good students increase their scores, while poor students decrease their scores, and the gap gets wider. Now, if you want to see a map of state-by-state comparisons, you can look at the link provided in this message. Now, speaking of gaps, let's talk about the gap in Arizona teacher pay and the rest of the country. It's real, and we are dealing right now, as you all know, with the consequences. Now, in an attempt to divert attention from the real solution, some commentators attacked administrators, saying their big salaries are the issues. But is that really true? Well, there's a couple articles that address this. The first one was written by Superintendent Greg Wyman of Payson. His article is entitled, "Administrative Cuts Don't Solve the Funding Problem." This was published in the Arizona Republic, and there's a link included with this message. The second article did some statistical exploration of the Auditor General's report, and this article is titled, "There's No Link Between Teacher Pay and Administrative Costs." And this article extensively studied administrative pay and teacher pay to see if there was a link between higher administrative pay, lower teacher pay, and so on. Guess what? No such correlation exists in Arizona. There's a link to that article also with this message. And finally, remember, Arizona public school districts trail the country in the percentage of budget paid to administrators. Yes, administrative pay in Arizona, like teacher pay, lags the national average. Let's talk about teacher pay in Arizona. We've seen the proposal Governor Ducey has put forth. Not a panacea, but a definite move in the right direction according to many. There's $100 million toward restoring cuts in district additional assistance. There's a 10% proposed increase in funding available for total teacher compensation. There's a move to protect the annual inflation funding guaranteed by Prop 123 from earmarking. In other words, let that money remain flexible for use by school districts. Let local control be continued. And significantly, there's a move to put the increased pay for teachers into the base funding formula, so that pay then is ongoing and inflationary, subject to those inflationary increases. Is that going to be enough? Well, it looks like it's not going to be enough to halt the work stoppage that will occur this Thursday. Now, we've provided to administrators various resources on how to deal with the work stoppage over the last couple of weeks. All those resources are available at one Google link. You can see that Google link on the screen, and it's also provided with the message. So check there for all of our resources on work stoppage. Finally, speaking of work stoppage, this summer, stop working and attend the Institute for Excellence at Flagstaff, which will feature ASU President Michael Crow, or attend the annual summer conference, June 10th through 12th in Tucson. Innovative leaders, innovative practices. And speaking of work stoppages, it's time to stop this message.